Biggest question is, do you still have the duo? The members of parliament who were granted bail, are they out?
Mildred and dear viewers, good evening. I want to confirm to everybody that the two honorable members of parliament were duly discharged after submitting their requirements according to the court order. Of course, at their personal request, they didn't wish to meet the media, so I don't think there is anybody in the media that was privy to meeting them. But I can comfortably tell you and assure you that they are no longer with us successfully.
You delivered them from the prisons to their homes? To the
precinct. No, the instructions is that the moment you cross the precincts of the prison, that is now the quarter guard, then it's no longer in our hands.
So they're entirely out. Whoever is waiting can officially go back home?
Absolutely.
But that doesn't seem to be the same case in the constituents. Their constituents, constituents are actually waiting and they didn't see that.
I don't have a roadmap on where they are moving from where to where, but I can comfortably tell you and prove to you that they are not with us with effect from this evening.
What time were they released? That's the discussion now, because the court order came a little bit earlier, a few hours past 2, a few minutes past 2, and we know that your last time of release is 5 p.m. in the prisons.
Yeah, fortunately, the deadline of the paperwork was met. I had a talk with the officer in charge, who is responsible for the release, because court commands the superintendent of the prison to release the prisoner. And the moment the officer in charge is satisfied that the bail forms are duly filled, that the bail fee is paid and the general receipt is produced to court, and then court produces an instruction, either in the form of a production warrant or in terms of a release order, then that's what the OC goes through. Then they check their properties. After checking their properties and whatever they have, then they are escorted to the gate and off they go. Unfortunately, remand prisoners are not given transport refund to the place of arrest with them because they have been released by court.
Okay. Now, these are quote-unquote high-profile prisoners that you have been with, and one would ask, is there special treatment for the caliber of prisoners that you do have, or is it a holistic, you are all prisoners and that is it?
Well, a number of situations depend on what we call the magnitude of the offense. Chigo is one of the high security prisons, and therefore the people in Chigo, the attention to them is much higher, like if you compared Kasangati, Sentema, and with Chigo. So, being that they are in a high security prison, of course, we have a lot of interest, because we know the public has a lot of interest, the state has a lot of interest, even everybody, international community has the stake. So I think that's not, it's not a special treatment, but it's in a way to help us do our job professionally.
Okay. Looking at the discussions that have been going around, is that there had to be a delivery of the court order itself and all the other necessary documents to Chigo prison. Was this duly done? How was it done? Because
the information I have is that technology worked. Most of these documents which were sent because of time, they were scanned documents. But because the OC was in court on Zoom, so they were authentic, and well, alongside the original will come, but the scanned copies are able to work.
Yeah. And they're able to work. Looking at the period that they have been with you and before this temporary, freedom, there were discussions about getting specialized treatment. Court itself pronounced and said they needed to get specialized treatment, but you retained them. Wasn't that infringing on their rights? Did you give them that
Mildred
treatment?
And viewers, if prisons was incapable, thank God we have lived with these people until they have left, and we have done our part. They have visited the necessary prisons. They were treated first from Chigo. They were treated in Makshonbe National Referral Hospital for prisoners, and they have both reached Murago, where it is the national highest point of referral as far as government is concerned. We don't have the powers to take people in private hospitals. And our doctors have every done their best. Even the best in Murago have done their best. That's why, for us, we are very happy that the honorable members came to us the way they came to us, and they have left us in a good condition.
Okay. Well, maybe for a recap of the viewers, I know you mentioned this a little bit earlier, but what's the entire procedure you take to release a prisoner? And is it different from a remand prisoner and that who was served their term entirely?
The convict's release is different, because when a prisoner comes in as a convict, there are 3 dates which are captured. There's what we call the latest period of discharge, LPD, meaning if he doesn't get that prison mathematics, at what point is this person supposed to be out? Then, if the mathematics comes in, what is the earliest time this person is supposed to go out? We call it EPD. But supposing the mathematics came in, then the prisoner maybe didn't comply with the conditions and some dates were added and reduced, then it was, we call it final date of release, FDR. So those days are very specific for the convicted prisoner. That's why there is the discharge board that sits with this prisoner a month or some weeks to the release. They go through what they think they need to prepare this person to get released. Okay. Prepare his property, ask where he's going, make sure there is a link to where he's going and where he is, so that on the final day, the books, of course, are aligned. When the convicts have more books than the remands, then this person signs out for the property. If he has the money, signs out for the money, then and is discharged in the morning. Actually, the release of convicted prisoners is normally done in the morning.
Okay.
But for the remands, they don't have a lot of paperwork. It is the commitment warrant which is supposed to bear a signature and the court seal, and then those bail forms which are also supposed to be authentic and signed. And of course, the copy of the general receipt. Now, when this with the production warrant, when the OC receives them and verifies that they are right and is certified that they are okay, then that's all it needs. It's a question of the property of the prisoner. And by the way, every day a prisoner is going to court as a remand, he must have all his properties. Because for us, we assume that when you go to court, chances of release are much higher. So the issue of running to the ward to get your property normally does not arise, because we know court chances of you getting released are higher.
Okay. Well, we don't have a lot of time, but at least the explanation is out. Commissioner Frank Baine confirms and says that the 2 legislators were actually discharged and they're no longer in prison.